athlete, and I'm
And he's committed to Navy. So great job, my buddy.
Antonio Fry, class of 2025, outside linebacker and running back.
Elijah Lilly, class of 25, receiver, outside linebacker, safety.
I'm Jim McKee. I'm the head coach. I'd like to just make a short opening statement. I never did see a microphone I didn't like, so I like to take advantage of that to promote our program. But I really like to thank BGO. You know, we were doing a fundraiser this week and trying to get these people to fill out these surveys. Anyway, I'm trying to get my son to fill it out, my middle son. He's like, oh, Scott County School's got plenty of money. I ain't going to fill that out. And they do from a standpoint of building stadiums and schools. It's a financially extremely sound district, but that pot of money is a different pot of money than the money that buys T-shirts for kids, pregame meals, cleats, and so nobody else has said it. But another big great part of the student athlete experience playing in this bowl game is the money that you generate for your program. So we appreciate BGO. Also, we appreciate Dan Bolpig, who works with BGO, has been our trainer for over 20 years. Now, she'll never watch it, but the greatest two ladies in Georgetown are Caitlin Flynn and Elizabeth Gabehart, our principal and our head counselor. You know, running a football program takes a whole lot of help, and I really appreciate them. And then lastly, Mr. Wells, you know, he was a student when I was a coach, so that tells you how old I am. I don't look it though. The truck, when we get done here, you got to make your picks, and we win and we ride. And, I mean, you can't change every week. That's what you do every week. Whoever wins is who you're behind. But you know, Dallas Blankenship, when I first came to the Scott County School District, always had you never went to him with an attitude of like, can we do this? He had the attitude of how can it be done? And I think that's carried forward for a long time. Scott County Schools is a can-do district. And then, you know, lastly, it's a great honor to play Franklin County. You know, I don't fish really. I farm, but I think about football when I'm on the tractor. You know, I follow all classes all over the state. And they clearly had the second best team in 4A last year. I saw Tillman play. I saw Covcat play. We played Boyle, and I thought Boyle in a one-game series had the best team in the state in all classes. That was my opinion in a one-game series. Now I don't think that they could probably hold up under Trinity's schedule, where you got to play Center Grove and you got to play Ben Davis, you got to play Cincinnati St. X, you got to play them over and over and over. But you know, so we know what we're up against on next Friday night. I mean, 2 years ago when we played them, I tell this story all the time. I mean, the mascot quit at the half, and the cheerleading coach got fired on Monday. So we know what we're up against. Now we'll entertain any question. You know, Cal, you know this. You know, for whatever reason, you made the decision to go to Georgetown Middle School and teach and do the newspaper on a different, you know, that was where you felt called. That basically is my point. And, you know, as long as I feel called to coach these guys, I'm going to do it. The second I can't give them what I think is the best opportunity to win and to be successful, that's when I'll quit. When is that? You know, I don't know. Now, the facility, I mean, I don't know if you've been up there and been through it yet, but, I mean, there's UK, U of L, Scott County. I mean, it's unbelievable. And Great Crossings has a great facility, but it's just like that phone that I left laying back there. You know, what is the newest iPhone right now? I think mine's like an 8 or 10 or something, but I mean, they got like a 17. And so what happens is the 17 has got all these extra little features on it. And, you know, the builders just, you know, they learn things that they can improve over a 5-year period. I mean, it's unbelievable. Well, I mean, we're talented. I mean, we've got a 4-year starter at quarterback. You know, we got a kid that's got a couple of Power 5 offers. We got a Navy commit. But at the end of the day, you know, we're still blue collar lunch pail mentality. I mean, you know, I laugh at some people that claim that's who they are. I mean, you got to get out on that farm and go, man, to really understand what that is. I mean, these guys are they love football and they are workers and just go to work. The biggest thing about next Friday is, especially in our situation where we've, as bad as we got humiliated, uh, whatever year that was, 21. You still got to play the next week. I mean, I love Coach James. He and I used to teach side by side, and I'll guarantee you, they came off on that field that night after they'd beaten us about 50-0, and I know how excited he was. But a month later, they lost 3 in a row, and then a month after that, they were in the semifinals, or 2 months. So you can't get too high, you can't get too low. These guys just got to keep going to work, keep going to work, keep doing what we do. And we're not going to change who we are. It's not. Somebody else said it earlier. It's not about the opponent near as much as it's about us. You just got to keep going, and try to put your best foot forward in November.
So I was a sophomore. Franklin County was my I'm just excited to play a good team. They went to semifinals last year. I'm just excited to play a very good team that we can have on our schedule.
Came from Elkhorn, I know a couple of guys. I know Coach Eddie. I think it'll be really fun, really fun. I think it's close to a rivalry as anybody. It'll come to the wire for sure. I know they're gonna bring it, so we're gonna bring it too.
I guess when you think about, right now Douglas has probably got the best team in Lexington. Bryan Station would argue with you. They went to the finals, they didn't. But I've been around so long that I can remember when Dunbar was the best. I can remember when Tate's Creek was the best. I can remember when Lafayette was the best. I can remember when Henry Clay was the best. And I've got a sneaky suspicion that I won't be able to be around long enough, that it'll cycle again at some point. But what's been consistent through all that, Scott County Cardinals have been pretty good. And that's what Coach James has done. Franklin County had some great teams. I mean, I saw Ryan Timmons hit my oldest son Clay on the sideline over at GMS one night when Clay was in 6th grade and Timmons was in 8th. I thought the boy never played football again. I mean, they've had some great teams, but Franklin County hasn't had the consistent type of success that they are having until the last 5 or 6 years. And listen, it's going to continue. Now we all have all this social media, which ours is pretty good now. I don't do any of it, but Clay does a heck of a job with it. But that's what you're going to get with Franklin County. They're going to come back to the bowl. I think we play Clark next year, and you guys play Franklin Great Crossing, I think. And then, but yeah, we need to keep them on the schedule. It's a great game. It's close. We're looking forward to the game because it's going to let you know where you are. Now, we've had 2 pretty good scrimmages. I mean, Bowling Green and Central are both very formidable opponents. And, we have some idea where we are, but we still haven't gotten underneath the lights when it all counts. Oh, it does. I think I got to keep everybody calm. You always got to remember, however you get to the end zone, it's going to count for 6. Okay? So it doesn't matter. However you're going to get there, you're going to get 6 points out of it. So, we just need to stay within the framework of who we are and do the things that we do. Kane Garrett's been probably a little bit of I knew he was going to be good, but he's really had a good preseason. And, that's what we've got to have to jumpstart our offenses. We've got to have somebody at the fullback position that can gain yards between the tackles. So we can't do the other things we want to do if we can't do that. And I've been really pleased with Kane. I coached his dad. He was a good running back for us, too. So I've been really pleased with Kane. Probably maybe a little bit. I don't know. I mean, the more playmakers you have, probably the more opinions you get. At the end of the day, calling the plays, one opinion matters. That's mine. And I'm going to call them, and I'm going to call the ones that I think are going to work. And I'm going to take input from other people, but I'm going to shoulder that responsibility. And, I don't have to. Hey, the better they do, the more they're going to get it, and they know that. So I don't think that's really a big issue with our guys. If it is, I would be surprised. No, I don't think so, Cal. I don't think it'd be a problem.
So I think I've always said since we started the season, I said got three backs that can take it to the house on any play. Got Emmy, got Ali, and we got me. Our fullback can take it to the house too. So, got a tight end back and our receiver back. So, offense is
Antonio likes to come try to get some carries too, and he can carry it. He broke away for a touchdown against Bowling Green.
I said we're very explosive. We got a couple backs that's real fast. They can get to the house. But I'm a defense player. I don't be watching the offense all the time.
I think our offense is just as explosive as anybody, if not one of the top teams in the state. In that case.
All right, Truck, let's go. Who you got? Who you got? That's what we want to know. You got us or Frank County? Who you riding with? Well, I mean, we're fortunate. We've got 5 former head coaches on our staff. My high school coach, Ray Graham, coaches our offensive guards. Mike Boland, he coaches our centers and tackles and does a lot of the blocking aspects with the tight ends. We've got 3 other former head coaches on it. And so it gives me a good perspective of guys that have had experience in the seat I'm in to bounce ideas off of and to, help me with my decision-making process. But it's also very helpful for these guys because part of the reason that they're not head coaches anymore is they got to the point where that wasn't the seat they wanted to sit in. They wanted to sit in a seat of just coaching kids. And so they really have flourished in that role. In terms of is this group special or, Truck, I mean, this sounds cliche. The way I live my life today, special brother, I'm trying to make today the absolute best experience for these guys that it can be. We all rode up here together, and I'm going to try to be right where my feet are and attack today. Well, I don't know necessarily if football is the game of football is that much better now than it was 5, 10, 15, or 20 years ago in the state. But what you hit on, what's changed are facilities. It's not just Scott County or Great Crossing. I mean, you go to Lexington. I mean, Frederick Douglass's place is unbelievable. Lafayette, they're building the new Tate's Creek. Have y'all been in the new school? I mean, it's the facilities are the biggest thing. But in terms of the game of football, I mean, I can tell you this, and my focus is on Scott County, and I put out stuff on my Twitter. I like Twitter. That's the only form of social media I like now. I like Twitter. I like my Twitter. And, I've been putting out a bunch over there. Football matters here. And it does. At Scott County High School, football matters. And it doesn't just matter to the players and the coaches. It matters to their parents. Like, it's really important to Buddy's mom and dad. And, I know all their parents. And it's important to Lily's parents, his mom, dad. It's important to Antonio's mom that they're good football players. Now, it's obviously important that they're good people first. Come on now. Don't say, McKee, all he cares about football. I mean, I care about this much more things other than football. But football is important at Scott County High School. It's important to the principal. It's important to the counselor. It's important to the coaches. It's important to the parents. It's important to the cheerleaders. And I love coaching at a place where that's the case. We went 9-3 last year. Now, Cooper killed us, but if we'd have played him again on Saturday afternoon, they'd killed us again. And if you saw them in the finals, they had some pretty good football players on that football team. But you know what? We went 9-3 last year, and I don't think one person said, "Hey, man, coach, great year." Well, I mean, that's what you want. That's where you want to be. Then you're in the right place.